Hi, everybody. It's Tara from Sojourn Psychology, and I'm here with Dion Matheson, who is the school counselor for Strathcona Christian Academy with the Elk Island Public School Division, and she's currently on mat leave. But Dion has a lot of experience. She's been working in our community for many years. She's worked with many age groups, taught grades 7 through 12, and now she's working with elementary school kids as well. So she's got quite the resume. And Dion and I have been trying to connect for a while, but we've got these younger kids, and finally we're doing it. So
we'll see how things go.
We'll see how things go, right?
Yeah, I have one napping and one in the other room, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, this is the new normal, right?
We have kids. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And we're at home. So Dion has some really good insight. She's done some research on how to scaffold and enforce growth mindset in our kids. So Dion, where do you want to begin with this topic? It's just so awesome.
Yeah, this is kind of a concept that's sort of hit the mainstream, I would say, in the last 5 or 10 years. And it kind of comes out of the science of neuroplasticity, which is this idea that the more we try and work at things, our brains actually grow and develop, and we can get better at things. So I, for a long time, would say I am not a math person, and I would have labeled myself that. And the reality is I'm actually probably okay at math. I think I actually got A's until about grade 11, and things got a little wonky there. But probably if I had really put my mind to it and really persisted, I would have done better. And so that would be an example of a fixed mindset. This idea that, I am the way I am, I was born this way, and I can't really change. Where a growth mindset recognizes the fact that actually we can change, we can grow, and we can develop if we put the right effort into play, the right strategies, maybe bring supports around us. We can get better at whatever it is that we are trying to achieve. And that brings a lot of hope for kids and for parents, and helps to actually build a child's own self-confidence. Because my confidence isn't based in the fact of what I can do now. It's based in the fact that I've got so much opportunity to grow.
Yeah, I love how you said that. And one of the markers of secure attachment is that self-confidence and that self-assuredness. And when you talk about mental flexibility, that is something that we can see in a child who's feeling secure in themselves.
Yeah. It's really interesting you mentioned about that, secure attachment, because in my research on parenting practices that foster growth mindset, one thing that was found was that parents who embrace failure and who don't really put conditions on their children in terms of their achievement or their behavior, even in the sense of kind of expecting that they're going to make mistakes, those children are more likely to develop this growth mindset. So if my kids feel like if they make a mistake, maybe they break a rule or they don't do well on a test or whatever it might be, if that's going to be seen as a catastrophic failure and I'm going to somehow shun them because they made that error, that's going to instill a lot of fear around making mistakes and instill this fixed mindset. I'm not even going to try to grow if I'm feeling really afraid. And so that to me just ties in really well with secure attachment, because a child who's securely attached knows that the love that they have from their parents is completely unconditional.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And with having this flexibility as parents around failure, around expectations, having conversation and dialogue, that's part of what fosters learning.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And one thing I really like is the acronym FAIL, FAIL, and failure is a first attempt in learning. And so if we actually, if our kids come home, let's say with a spelling test, and they failed it, they didn't get 50% on it, thinking about what is our reaction? So are we oh, you should have studied more? Or, we're not paying attention in class? When we come at them kind of attacking them in that situation, again, that's going to cause our kids just to shut down. So when we look at failure as a first attempt in learning, we can actually say to our kids, okay, so we found this really, really challenging, or we didn't get the mark that we maybe thought we were going to get. Let's see what we can learn from this. What adjustments can we make? Maybe we aren't studying enough. Maybe we aren't studying at the right time of day. Maybe there's something we're not understanding. Maybe there's something I'm not understanding from what the teacher wants. And coming at it from that avenue, that helps our kids to see that, we're not upset at who they are. We're just trying to figure out, how can we make some tweaks? What can we learn from this example of failure? And the flip side goes, what happens when our kids are actually like killing it at something, like they're doing awesome. So for example, my daughter last year had a spelling test that she got perfect on. And this had been like, it had taken her like probably until like January to get her first perfect spelling test. So she was pretty excited about it. And I was really cautious in that moment, because I could have done one of two things. I could have been like, oh my goodness, you are so smart, and instilled this idea that because she got 100% on her test, she is smart. And that actually leads to a fixed mindset, because what's going to happen the next time when she doesn't do well on her test? Does it mean she's not smart? Well, of course not. And so instead, I kind of stopped and I remembered, I want to give her what's called process feedback. So and process praise. So I want to praise her for the process. So I said to her, I said, wow, that's amazing. I can really tell that all your studying this week really paid off. You must have been really paying attention in class when your teacher was going over the words. And look, that is tied to this result. You got 100%. And then there's this one other caveat that you kind of add on to the end. And I said, and I think next time we need a harder spelling test, because I want to see some mistakes on it. I want to actually see that it's challenging you and that you're being pushed. And it's this idea that we never just settle for kind of doing the easy thing. Let's try to push ourselves to achieve things that are even more difficult. And it's different per kid, right? What they can handle and that kind of thing. So for my daughter, if she's getting 100% on everything, then I want to see, how can we make this harder? How can I can actually push you so that your brain grows and develops?
That's so cool, Dion. So I'm going to ask Dion to stick around with me and we'll do one more piece here, but this is just amazing, Dion Matheson. And I'm going to put Dion's Instagram handle down below. She has a page where she shares some parenting strategies or ideas. And if anyone's interested, you can follow her. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dion.
Sarah.